and it's difficult to get away from her, and she could kind of skip the front line of the Wukong as well. So when you have that wild growth and you have the laning power there, the scaling of this draft here for D+ Kia is kind of insane.
In his jungle, and just avoiding the ward entirely, has been able to steal quite a lot, the red and the Raptors. Now we got to trade in the bottom lane, and guess who's here? It's the guy who stole the jungle, Pyosik. Coming on in, life is getting low, but Smash is going to be the first to fall. First blood given over to Duckdom, and now Career in a bunch of trouble, has to flash away, but Pyosik is looking for it. One more auto, and the red buff ticks away. It's 2 kills for DNS already.
Yeah, the red buff there, a big problem. Bottom lane, but this is going to be a plate at least here with the corrosion on this turret for Smash picked up. On top of the farm lead he's going to get, so we'll get that corrosion proc there, the base essentially demolish, and then we'll get the first plate. So a lot of progress towards his quest, not to mention the gold that'll go over with it. They'll get this dragon, and as long as Lusa hits the smite button on this, should hit level 6. So this is a really nice start here on the bottom side, or I shouldn't say start, but comeback, so to speak. Big turnaround there for D+.
That's going to help push his quest even further ahead of Pyosik. If he can do that, it looks like Pyosik was able to spot him, but will not be challenging this objective, as the bubble has to be flashed. I mean, Duckdom and Life are really putting on the pressure.
Life has hit so many of these bubbles. Like, he was able to hit the Aqua Prison on Smash earlier during the all-in as well. Smash didn't flash it, but it meant that he could have flashed it. I don't think it would have necessarily had a kill, but...
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, as Career forced to kind of face check that one. Smash taking a bunch of damage himself, wants to trade it back, has to dodge the bubble, does it very nicely, and gets on in, but still liking the position of Duckdom and Life. We'll see if this breaks out into a full fight as this dragon is getting low. They're going to engage on a Lucid, who just gets wild growth. And now Smash going to push Duckdom away. Lucid still just fine, winning that trade against Pyosik. Showmaker, though, getting very low on the left side, but Pyosik gets the drink, immediately goes down, and Closer is there to follow as well. And now Showmaker is getting in, as one by one the dominoes fall. As the Slurkle actually kind of predicting that Valkyrie away, but it's just going to be the 3 kills. DK will take it. Lucid is showing here on the bottom side of the map. It feels like he is always here, knowing where his bread is buttered in this meta.
I mean, this Lulu pick makes it so that they can play this way, and he has certainly been, you know, outside of the one time Pyosik caught him off guard and took his camps away and then caught the bottom duo there, he's kind of been camping this lane and making the most important lane get to where it needs to be for this composition to work here for D+. Talia gonna Weaver's Wall up here. I don't know if he can do anything to this Cassante.
He's gonna get that slowdown and still holding on to that as he finally does, but she was just too low as he's able to avoid the knockback there.
It looked like in team fights, because they've kind of done everything else that they want to do with this comp really well. Pyosik's early game was fantastic, but when we get to a certain point, the Unara is just too big to fail. Lucid is going to look for an angle here.
Lucid's so fast, sprinting out of the jungle, just able to get in his face. As now they're trying to turn onto Life, who is in a bunch of trouble. Pyosik does get here, but immediately Lucid goes in, and look how gigantic he is with the wild growth. Nobody can touch him. Pyosik just on the run. Duckdom has to flash and barrier, and Showmaker is also so fast. Movement speed is pretty huge as, yeah, he's going to deny that disengage cone and pick up the double kill. And just like that, DK find another good fight.
That was pretty smart from Duckdom, knowing that maybe if he takes this angle, he could get the double cone out, but Showmaker reads it, follow flashes, super patient with his flash uses there as well. Does not let Duckdom mind game him and takes out the kill.
Dudu's in a lot of trouble here. Getting ganked by a Lulu as the Glitterland slows him just enough. That really obnoxious slow, and she was going to pick up the kill as the Year of Dudu will be put on hold for now.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Basically 8 hours, so not much he could do, and eventually the Lulu gank is enough to just hold him in place for the Cassante. And yeah, I still just keep going back to thinking about this Lulu and Bessa combo that you talked about when we saw the draft. We're seeing it in action, and Lucid, he got Eclipse, and he's just untouchable. Like, the shields are insane. The wild growth on top of it is insane, not to mention the CC chain.
I mean, think about this comp. The only bad target for wild growth is Lulu herself, but she could even use it as like a flash engage tool and safety. Weaver's Wall can't stop me!
Career has a career.
Under siege here, and with the turret taken in bottom lane, Shu is also just going to rotate up here. And I think they should be able to secure this, and maybe even more.
Yeah, I'd be very careful if I were DNS. You can see that they are not going to overextend, but Yeah, it's just kind of trying to stop the bleeding, but not really doing a good job of it, as Showmaker's getting free time up in the top lane to take out this turret.
He has his Realm Warp, so they're like, oh, we need to defend mid. He could Realm Warp over, but then they send everyone over to mid. They don't defend mid, and then Showmaker just gets this turret anyways. That's quickly rebuild that one back up. He's 4 stacks away from his Rod of Ages. We have this Rylai's build here for closer. It's not the burstiest Talia. It's a little bit more utility in this one. It's going to be in that Duck Dom, who's so far behind, needs to do heavy lifting, and Dudu...
Ghost is OP when it's Rise who's sprinting at you, and Career with another gank. I don't think Showmaker really needed him, but that's going to be an assist picked up for Career. And yeah, Dudu down as
the Weaver's Wall has to somehow cut this team in half, but they got to find a single target. Showmaker may be that target, or maybe not.
Yeah, they were thinking about it. I think Showmaker's just too fast. It's really difficult to actually collapse on them without hard CC, and the only hard CC they have is Pyosik, basically. That's reliable.
Yeah, I mean,
so
they got his Ghost, and that's all they're going to get. Now they're just going to try to rush this Dragon down and hope that maybe Pyosik could do enough damage alone. Xiu is just waiting. He's 2 levels up.
I mean, they have position on the Dragon, but they are being flanked by Showmaker and Xiu, who are just looking to break down the front door. Now, the Equalizer pretty good for zoning, actually, and they get the objective bounty as well, so nicely played. DK trying to force the fight. It's not going well for them, as the kiting now is not good enough, as there's the engage, the Ambessa on the back line with that Wild Growth, and just like that, it's not even dominoes anymore. Everyone is just falling all at once. Dudu is down. Pyosik, will he get away? No, he will not. The flash comes in. I think that's just the game. At 24 minutes, they're going to try to push bot.
Well, you know, they got the Dragon. That was quite miraculous. Good job on that position on the Equalizer there, Dudu. It got them the Dragon, but as soon as it was gone, Smash said, I'm going in. Lucid starts it off, has that Wild Growth combo. Smash just follows up incredibly well. He's got his Fiend Hunter bolts at the ready. Kraken Slayer set, doesn't even need his 3rd item. Doesn't care about it. And these turrets are gonna fall as D+ cut through like a hot knife through butter. A few respawns here, but it's gonna take some heroics to defend this Nexus.
They didn't really have to go for this, but I think they feel strong enough to just go ahead and send it, as now trying to kite back. Pyosik getting super low to Smash and Showmaker, and just disappears once again, and nobody has the damage to deal with Lucid, as we have seen time and time again, just endless shields. As Dudu comes in, the Equalizer's there once again, but yeah, the Hero Dudu once again will be delayed. Triple kill for Lucid, and that is the Nexus falling at 25 minutes. Yeah, Bard's not the only one who can play the pipes, and neither is Nautilus in the jungle. We've been seeing a lot of usage.
Effect, you know, it's not a Sheen item, not a Sheen item, so.
You gotta be careful with what names you use for stuff when everything's got a keyword nowadays. As the slows are coming in, they're looking for Smash. He doesn't have his flash.
Too.
And Pyosik is here.
Oh, Lucid!
But Lucid pops out of the bush. And Pyosik is pretty late, actually, to the party, as First Blood will go over to Rakan. Smash should be in some trouble here, as the drag will get the kill, but now Pyosik might go down, as the TP is coming in, and Showmaker says, give me that kill right now. And they will do exactly that. Definitely the smart thing to do. And that's going to be 2 for 1 here in favor of D+ Kia.
And they can actually send Smash mid. Matchup, it's a little bit tougher to do so. And now we're seeing Pyosik come down to the bottom lane here, but look where the lane is set up. It's very difficult to actually dive. He is going to be unseen, it looks like here. But, I mean, it's a Rakan. And Smash has flash, and he's basically under turret. So he's just going to chill here while Lucid's like, all right, grubbing it up. He's still waiting. Small wronging.
The long game here, as eventually they're going to get this combo done onto Career. Very nicely layered, as even able to interrupt with the Cataclysm is Pyosik. So they do get that kill down. As you mentioned, a lot of time spent, as now once again the 1v1 Xiu is making Dudu's life hell.
You know, that kill from Showmaker in the bottom lane, but we haven't seen team fight Echo just yet. He still hasn't skilled his ultimate. He's waiting for that specific moment. And it might be coming up very soon.
Yeah, they're in a lot of trouble here. Look at this. Pyosik going for the follow-up gank as Duck Dom gets pretty low, and Lucid's like, well, sorry guys, I can't help you out. Double kill for Pyosik, this time showing up for the follow-up.
Showmaker didn't have teleport and did not have enough control to rotate over. It was a very quick call from Pyosik, who's been very decisive throughout this series.
Showing a lot of presence on the top side of the map.
Ooh, Life caught.
Yeah, they're going to go in onto this one. The knockup comes in. They don't have a ton of damage, but eventually Life is going to have to do something as in goes Pyosik. The turnaround goes in on the Lucid. They finally get the flash out of the Braum. As we got a 1v1 up on the top side, 1v1 on the bottom side, as Smash is trying to just keep Duckdom at bay, and he should be able to do that. It looks like Pyosik gets away with the flag and drag, but a lot worse for Ware, as he is pretty low, and that just means Lucid gets the free objective.
Yeah, I mean, that was so non-committal for D+. They're like, all right, we caught Life by using basic abilities. Duckdom tries to peel with his arrow, can't really get access in. They don't have control of the top side either. And finally, Life is just like, all right, I'm using my sums, I'm out of here. And that means a free Herald does go over, as you say. Closer can't really do anything here. Going to look for a scatter as a consolation prize.
Well, you got Duckdom trying to make things interesting into Career, but Career has a jump path out of there through the Varus.
We're on the map. You can see, like, in mid, there's a small modicum of control. And Showmaker plays this safe. Scouts Pyosik, pushes him out.
Oh, they're just going to turn on the Life here in transition. He doesn't have any sums, as you talked about in the last fight, and that's just going to be given over to Smash. So, not sure exactly how they got caught there. It looks like he put down a control ward, and they just got jumped. So, got to be careful where you're walking with no sums Life. Otherwise, that will happen, and that's just going to mean kind of another just free objective given over to D+ Kia.
Yeah, and Pyosik, I mean, he wanted to try to make something happen to Showmaker. He's unable to do so. Showmaker still has free reign down here. He's even going to commit his ult.
Yeah. Just going in for the extra amount of harass, essentially. Trying to land that ult, just barely not able to.
I mean, look at the mid lane, too. Like, Duckdom isn't there. He's using his arrow here to try to hit Showmaker. Not going to succeed. And now, like, they're going to basically lose a turret in the top side for free. I don't think he's too worried about it, as long as Career's got the bell at the ready.
Trying to get an angle here on a Life once again, who this time is Braum, and it does matter. As now the engage comes in, catches Toon as Career, it's beautiful, they get Duckdom. As Career comes out of basically nowhere. I thought they knew he was there, but Career with the very quick engage was just too much for them to handle.
I thought this was going to be a fun game where Showmaker has a lot of fun with Echo, Valdez.
None of that.
The most fun part was when he had to press Control R and then press R and avoid Syndra's ult damage. And that was it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he practically could have been playing anything in this game. Let's the Lucid show.
And Pyosik just trying to stick around to defend the turret, was never going to be able to. And yeah, I guess he cleared the wave, but he also cleared his own health bar by sticking around. As Lucid had a big smile, Pyosik a big grimace after that one. And there really hasn't been a lot of, game-turning moments in this one.
Where to set up that CC chain, you can't team fight. You can't even exist on the map, really. As between Lucid and this engage from Career, can't even be near your mid-turret. We're too far away, I suppose. The engage is so real, it's so strong here.
Control that you have, and not allowing your opponents to play the game, and just suffocating them. Did a bit of damage there, okay. Smash is also going to be forced to flash away. As in comes Lucid, and in comes Career, and Life is like, well, I guess I'll try my best. There's the charm, as Duckdom's doing a lot of damage to him, but Career does get away, and now we got a TP coming in. Lucid has to go forward, as the ult is insane, pushes two back, and now Showmaker comes over, and Lucid is unkillable with the Thunder Sky, and now we see what a 5v5 looks like when everybody on DK comes on over. As Shiyu gets the angle, hits the needles on a closer who is playing Syndra into Echo and Gwen. The least fun you could ever have as a Syndra.
Yeah, this draft really just did not work out for DNS, and I think that was probably the back-breaking moment here in this game. They're not going to be able to kill the Nexus off of it, but they'll get Baron. They'll take this 8,000 gold lead and send it to the moon.
We got to see a little bit of burst out of the Echo in that fight that you were asking for, Wolf, and it was on to the Ashe, who didn't have flash and had like 30% health. But that 30% went away very quickly, actually all at once, to the Echo. And especially with the double flank coming in from the solo laners was really just impossible to deal with when you're playing Ashe, Syndra.
And you know
really
what, Rakan, he's bandle piping. Just wanted to mention it.
Yeah, he's a little bandle piping. As the Cataclysm is going to stop Dudu from getting in, Showmaker is still playing Echo, and still not going to be punished there, as when becomes Lightning in on a closer, and he is down. And the follow-up with a change from max range from downtown. Smash going to hit it. And this is where DK just kind of turn into the Harlem Globetrotters, and they just begin to really make their opponents look silly. As in they go, Duck Dom, they're sending everything in the kitchen sink beyond that one. As Life and Dudu, they did their best, but their best was definitely not enough. As the first game was 25 minutes, it looks like this one will be very slightly longer, but it's still just as dominant. As there you have it, D plus Kia will be taking the 2-0 here tonight over the DN Supers.
Pick it up right where they left off at Kesbrook, up right where they left off against Bro. This team incredibly dominant, just like we saw at the beginning of 2025. A 4-0 start here. This really going to be looking for some additional range here for FaZe. And it's one of those niche support picks that really says the 80 carry is the main character. He's kind of been Zeus' kryptonite a lot of the time on other rosters.
So we're just kind of running at him. He's just going to flash away, as now we got the Pantheon here. Doran's still pretty low as they're going all in for it, and he does get the first blood, but Kanavi is going to take a turret shot and has to flash away. Owner did have to flash in to save his top laner, so just a trade. Flash in to try to save the play. So one of those small little things that did happen. Faker is trying to gank top, and Zeus does not have flash. So
yeah, I mean, this Realm Warp play could absolutely work.
Trying to bait him in. There's the Realm Warp, and an easy lineup for Doran to set it up, and Faker with the gank in the top lane. Zeus trying to turn it here on the Doran. It's not going to happen, and Doran even gets given the kill.
Are seeing Talia's kind of late to the play so far here at LCK Cup, just not able to actually make those early Weavers Wall plays successful thus far.
Trying to go in once again for a trade. Pace and Carry will take that every time of the week, but this time Kanavi is here with flash and ults available. As now the Pantheon coming in, Owner trying to make a play to help them out, but Guma and Delight had already essentially disengaged. So
or anything, there's not been crazy dives that they've failed to defend, and so the game does continue at a relatively even state.
Yeah. That's the thing when you get teams of this caliber, is that you're not going to see gigantic mistakes most of the time, and you're not going to see big swings early on. We've been seeing a lot of big swings early on, actually, before coming into this one, where teams get 2,000 gold ahead at 7 minutes and stuff like that. But essentially, it's just going to be slight lane leads and gold leads, or the lanes you would expect them in.
And speaking of, I mean, the Rumble still has that lead topside,
I suppose. As we do have Owner bot once again, and that means that Kanavi has an angle here at the top lane.
Doran's flash is back.
He does have his flash. He is going to use his ult to actually get away from the Vi, and still just holds on to his flash the whole time until the equalizer comes down. And he took that little bit of extra damage at the beginning and the burn, and that means he is just dead.
This is where T1 want to live, is in the tempo lead, right? They have the advantage, and they're going to try to push it here topside.
Now, Owner's going in. No public execution here for Doran, but he's still going to exist under this turret. They're going to wait for the redive, as the spear is going to miss, and now Doran's going back in. They're missing everything, as they can just wait for another spear, and hopefully that gets the job done. But no, the shield is going to save him as well, and eventually Owner says enough with it, I'll just get it done. It's Delight diving the turret, and he's going to go down. As we got Melio protecting Pace, he flashes away. There's so much pressure on the bottom side of the map, and I think eventually they should get this done, as Kanavi's getting low, but they still get the kill, and they get it over to Zeka's Talia.
A little bit sloppy on both sides here, but ultimately it is going to be a trade 2 for 2. Affecting the spacer. There's another Realm Warp gank.
Yeah, and it looks like Zeus once again in a lot of trouble. No flash, no way for him to get out of this one. Just ults the wave. Nearly actually takes out Faker, but all calculated in the end.
I mean,
Faker's just living in the top lane.
He embodies Rise as a person, and you'd mentioned the cinematics already they had before, and it is a 2 Drake lead here for Hanwha Life Esports. They do have those grubs, but that is going to be the first turret to go over to this Ambessa.
We had Kanavi. Oh no, he's going to stick around actually. Maybe thinking about going in onto Doran, as Owner is nearby and ulting in, as it's just going to be a straight up 2v2. The equalizer pretty good, but not good enough, as ends up being just Owner getting there first, landing the CC, but you know, just item by item, especially because Guma has not finished his Muramana and is pretty far away from doing so. They bait him in though. Pays in a lot of trouble as he flashes and he still dies. And even with Owner coming in, not able to save him, the TP not ending up doing too much, but at least pushes Doran away.
Let's see what choice they make here now. His pace is running over, and it looks like they will just get this dragon here. Owner looking for potential contest.
You know, we'll have to just wait and see if they go for the fight afterwards. Doesn't look like Owner's gonna be able to do much there. As the equalizer's great in the choke. Owner puts up the shield, but immediately dies afterwards. So a little bit of a bonus treat for Hanwha Life Esports on top of the dragon.
T1 with the recall timers are going to try to rush down this Herald despite not having a jungler, and it looks like it's going to work out for them. There's no vision on this either.
Yeah, I'm going to give the Drake away.
I think you just don't throw the game on this one. You lost half your health on the Corki, and some of the health is traded back on Owner, but he has the honey fruit, so he's feeling okay about it. And they don't really have a great Weaver's Wall angle. It's so frustrating for Hanwha because they were able to wrestle that vision back away and get their first dragon of the game. They'll also pick up this additional turret here on the bottom side for the Mbessa.
The game comes along and Doran gets even more fed.
The thing is, Hanwha, you really need to group and look for picks. And I know that sounds like one of the easiest things.
Been good plays so far. Faker, nice shout to just back away, but that does mean that HLE are going to be getting even more golds in the side lane. Pays trying to match that in mid as his jungler.
It looks like basically what T1 have decided is they're going to bank this on one big team fight here. Has his fourth. This dragon, again, it's just the big tense point. It's Kanavi.
Kanavi's going to send it. Does he have his team with him? He kind of does. Pays is going to get that flash off, though, as he's trying desperately to live, and he does not. As eventually he goes down, Doran exhausted in amongst three of them, and he's not going to be able to do much. Kanavi might eventually go down to Faker here, but it looks like HLE are winning this fight. Owner flashing and dying, and Faker the only one who can do damage left in this fight. That's going to do it for that one, as HLE take down 4, and they will take this Baron.
That may have been the game-ending moment with Faker trying to do what he can at the end of the fight, popping the actualizer, trying to burn those health bars, but Pays was blown up in an instant. And it doesn't matter if there's no Zonias for Zeus, you know, in these types of situations. Equalizer will be enough. The follow-up for that ult from Kanavi will be enough as he flashes at max range onto Pays. Caught out once again, just alone. Really nice flank angle he picks up. That's Baron for HLE, and that should be map control for this upcoming dragon. Great play from Kanavi. They're looking for that dragon. This is Soul for Hanwha Life Esports.
Heavy and Owner, no flash. His spear can't reach from there, so it's just Ocean Soul for HLE on top of the Baron. They can keep Pays alive on the Lucian with the Melio. Not against this comp. It's not going to happen. Wolves or something. He doesn't have his TP. He's the only one not here, but they weren't going to defend at this turret regardless.
And Hanwha Life Esports, I think, are right to not look for a split. Target blow up. Say, Pays, you can't walk up. You have no flash. And this inhibitor is free. Now Faker is going to be able to get an interim return in mid, but I think that's really the only play for him. So, and in fact, I thought it was lower. He might not even get the whole thing. It is 2026, so he's like, I guess I will. Wolf, watch me do this. Let me press all my buttons.
Yeah.
Clear this wave and then do massive damage to the turret. He will ultimately get it, it looks like here, but it's just not an equivalent exchange on the map. Barely gets it calculated.
Close. I mean, they were definitely considering, yeah, they're going to pull the trigger here as Zeka going to keep him around. Even gets the knockback, and I think Faker going to have to try to realm warp out of this one or just actualize his way out. Nearly kills. No, he gets the kill on a Zeka, and he just barely doesn't get away.
So important, and you know, you can look at gold as we'll watch Faker actually real quick. Actualizer on 3, third item, third hotkey. He's going to press it, and I love how you put this actualize his way out of here. Because that is exactly what happened until he ultimately does go down here. He's out of the realm up for a second, cannot quite get back in.
It was very close, too. Like, he almost got out of there.
This is just so much control over the map, which makes it incredibly difficult to walk out here as T1. They can use these, you know, these buffed wards. Oh, why the name is Phallites. Yeah, to try to see you, but I mean, they're coming. They know they're coming, but there's nothing they can do to stop the siege. They're like, all right, I can see you're coming, and now...
Owner puts up the shield, but again, the CC lasts for too long. He does flash away and actually does live. Lots of damage is going on in, as now Doran accesses the backline, and the follow-up from Faker Faker is right there. They've got Pays. They have the front line, and HLE are just routed. They go a little bit too deep, trying to kill a Pantheon, and they are going to pay the iron price for it. Kanavi by himself behind everyone. He is absolutely dead, and T1 turned this game on its head.
And Doran actually with the insane play there on the turnaround. The follow-up comes through from Faker.
The Baron is not going to be contestable by T1, so it's just one fight that kind of gets them back in the game a little bit, but HLE are still in control of the map right now. They take the Baron, and they're looking at Elder.
This Elder is started. Their inhibitor respawn. Owner dodges a second shove here, but they're gonna have to roll warp in.
Wait, they're just going in. They're getting a better position actually as a team. The Equalizer does an insane amount to Carrier, but only Carrier. Delight is going to zone them away essentially by himself, and he's Alistair, and the double knockback is gigantic. They have the Elder on top of it. Pays trying desperately to hold on, but it just doesn't look like enough. With Elder Dragon, you have to imagine HLE can end this game.
Pays against the world here. He's going to attempt the recall, but I don't think this has a happy ending.
There's just no way. He's trying to kite it out, but the burn with the Rumble and the Zhonya's is enough, and it looks like HLE have done it. They will look to push and end game number 1.
Fantastic game of League of Legends between these two teams. Pays caught a few too many times in this one, though, on the Lucian, giving Hanwha Life Esports enough control. We were praising his control of the 2v2, but as you pointed out several times, Guma and Delight handled it really well in this game. And Kanavi ends up finding the right picks at the right time. Faker trying his best to side, got the Rise online, but HLE will reign supreme here in game number 1.
And a decisive victory at that. Just a couple of team fights go their way. They're able to hold on.
And picking the Gnar into this Cassante means that you're going to have a fantastic lane. You're going to have pressure up there on the top side, which means you can put your efforts on focusing on the bottom side where Ziggs will also already outrange the Aphelios.
Into the satchel, used aggressively. This time makes sense. Owner's like, oh, hello. So they're going to have a little bit of a skirmish here, a one-on-one. Which mid laner gets here first? Looks like they're here at the exact same time. And going to respect the Xin Zhao, it looks like, or maybe not quite enough, as the chain's not going to predict, as the flash comes late, and now Owner has to flash away, double flash in, as Kanavi desperate to kill that Xin Zhao, but he just cannot, and Delight follows, double kill given over to Faker at 3 minutes into the game. And Delight being forced back, so at least able to get this early objective.
Look at Owner's experience advantage. He has level 6, the Wukong does not. He's a full level up. The team fight, the jungle camp lead he has over this Wukong that's been fighting fire with fire, but is just much less relevant in the early game.
Getting the speed boost from the Lulu. I talked about being excited for the top lane. Well, it's basically just been Zeus getting a little bit of a CS lead. And he is the one stripe on the team. You know, he is the Zeus stripe at the moment.
Ultimately, you know, still going to be able to get back to lane fairly quickly. Is back now already. It's 2026. You know, you can go back whenever you want.
Yep.
It's your prerogative.
Owner's getting in there on a Kanavi. They want to engage on this Wukong as the root comes in onto the 2 bottom laners. And Kanavi, there's really nowhere for him to go, as now they got to try to turn around. But is it too little too late? Owner able to set up 2, eventually does go down. But now Pace has a free highway to getting even more kills. Picks up the double. We got a TP coming in. And Zeus, now he's getting stunned down. Faker thinking about taking more of a fight at this point in time, but Pays again with shields and speed ups. There's really no threat at this point in time. Like, again, this comp can do so much when it comes to team fights and punishing the Aphelios, but in this early to mid game state where HLE are behind, it just feels like Pays does whatever he wants.
And it feels like the opt-in to these team fights from Kanavi.
And going bot lane that one time.
They're like, he lane swapped to being a jungler by roaming a lot. That's the Gnar steal.
Yeah. Should be the better Gnar, but he's up against a Rakan at the same time. The better Gnar ult throws them into the wall, and Faker says, this is why I picked Silas, guys. You're not going to enjoy this fight. Gets the slow on a Zeus. There's the block from Delight, but he might be in trouble now as the smite comes down. Oh, the boomerang nearly gets him.
Minions?
Wukong? He was trying to TP away. I think he should be able to. I think he's got the time. Yeah, there he goes. And a slick play by Faker to get away, but has to expend his TP to do it.
This doesn't have TP either, even though his Gnar was set. We can't join, and I think this should be relatively free. And you see Guma is backing. They're just simply not going to contest, and I think it's the right choice. We have to keep asking the question, though, when will Hanwha Life Esports be able to punish? When will they be able to set up this engage? They had to opt out this time around. At the end of the day, this dragon doesn't spawn for 40 more seconds. And this hijack is going to be up.
Well, he might be backing sooner rather than later. Faker in a lot of trouble here, actually. The Ignite doing so much work, and just straight up a solo kill. Zeka takes him down. Owner takes an opportunity to go mid and try to take down this turret with the Rift Herald. Should be able to do so. And actually trying to run it into the second turret here. Carrier going even deeper. There he goes. There's the knockback, but at the end of the day, with the Wild Growth, I think it should be okay. Still does have to flash, but I suppose worth with all that extra money. His ult available, he's the same level as Faker. So they're going to exhaust him and try to get into that circle, which Wukong can easily do, as does Rakan, and Zeka gets in there as well, does the damage. We got the Between Worlds stolen, and Delight might be in a bit of trouble here, as down he will go.
See if Faker can try to cut off their retreat. Oh, does not hit the chains. Still has that ult.
Wants to throw this ult in, there it is. And he is just going assassination mode. But unfortunately, disengaged Cone. As now we have TP coming in, and Kanavi trying to punish him as the Gnar is not quite ready. Faker has to flash out of this one. The Gnar almost there, but now Pei's going man mode as nobody is able to get onto that backline. Faker's going back in, and now Doran's able to join as well. As Zeus low, as is Kanavi. They want to try to take them down. The chains once again not going to land.
This fight was actually so difficult to pilot for T1. But they turned it into such a scrappy fight. The Hanwha Life Esports could not group and get anything done, and you could really feel the difference, obviously, in terms of damage output. Zeus.
I think Owner eventually just, he'll just get him here. Oh, little sidestep. Did a good job of dodging basically everything, but it did not matter. Faker still get the drag.
Doesn't get the kill, but ultimately doesn't really matter that much in the grand scheme of things, but I'm going to go all the way back to this solo kill here onto Faker from Zeka. He made a funny sound when he killed him. Far out because he teleports in at a kind of awkward angle and can't reach him. You're not going to win those fights. Catching Faker in the side would be huge.
He's trying to steal the Between Worlds. Meanwhile, Zeus is just dead, and Faker actually got away with the Aurora ult, so that's going to be a trade up here for T1, who now have a 5,000 gold lead from Kanavi.
And they're just going to keep them away from the Baron. Red-white for Pei's means this Baron goes down so quick.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way. I mean, Kanavi's trying to run over. At this point, they're trying to burst down Faker, who is this tankier Silas, who's quite fat, and that's just the Baron given over to T1.
I wouldn't put that in the T1 Baron column, but it was fairly close. They see an angle, they see a window, they've got the right gun set up for Pei's, they take it out. Hanwha Life Esports trying to trade back a turret, but it doesn't look like they're necessarily even going to get that. The satchel's been changed.
Owner's going in, and there's really no recourse for this. The satchel does come out, but unfortunately that's going to leave Kanavi to the Wolves, as in goes Faker and does the burst damage. I think they're just way too far ahead at this point. The chains once again going to miss, but Faker will not be stopped. Does get denied the quadra, but does pick up the triple. As Owner, man, he's getting so much aggro from the guys on HLE, but he just rarely goes down.
Yeah, he just absorbs it, takes it like a champ, and you know, it's only 3 kills for Pei's in this game, but his damage output has been so insane in some of these scrappy fights. And now Zeus.
We got better Gnar ults coming on in, but Faker pretty low, and it looks like maybe not gonna go for it. Although Faker has been going insane. Kingslayer comes in. Zeus is getting low. The chains are going to connect as might just have this Gnar ultimate into the wall, into the turret. Delight super low, and the auto from Carrier gets it done. He flashes forward. The bloodthirsty support trying to get another one, but he will not be able to. T1 having a bit of fun with their food at this point.
Yeah, this is definitely becoming a very one-sided affair very quickly as Pei's kind of baiting them in. He does die.
Dead. Kanavi looking for a bit more over the wall. They are going to get Carrier, as Ingo Zeka as well, but yeah, I suppose just getting the scraps at the end.
Pei's was almost able to turn that into something. Really just a drop in the bucket of the deficit now. Can't satchel the turret until it goes to its final plate, if I'm not mistaken, on this patch. So they can't get the turret as quickly as they would have normally. And then, yeah, he is just going sicko mode in this fight. So difficult to kill, so tanky. And then he just is able to catch them before they can take the turret out. And then best friend Keria coming in with the Gnar ultimate and all that. With the
too much action. Too much action. Too many replays. We don't even know which one it is. And Faker gets a kill as we're in a replay. He's looking for more. I feel like he's throwing so many chains, and I see most of them miss, but sometimes he just gets in there and blows up your entire health bar instead.
Well, that's an inhibitor going down. And Zeus is trying to get some bounty gold on the top side. We'll see a TP from Faker to shut that down. They're not going to go for the bottom turret there as the Baron fades away. And I think this is just Mountain Soul to T1 for free.
Yeah, look at Doran's positioning as well. Just the threat of that. And now Faker from the top rope is looking to come on in as trying to get on top of Guma here, but he's able to satchel away. Faker, though, able to steal the Between Worlds, does an immense amount of damage, finds Zeus on the top side on top of it all, and Kanavi essentially just the sacrifice as this engage cone does get Zeus to safety. It's only a matter of time until T1 end this game.
It might be a very short amount of time, in fact, Valdez, as they have this super minion wave here. Shirelia's out. They're looking to end it right now.
I think they should be able to. Zeus, Nogar, and a gigantic Aphelios ult on top of 3. And it's still Faker that gets 2 kills somehow. As now he's diving the fountain. I'm sure he's giggling the entire time. And they have a little bit of a wave, but it did just get cleared out. Doesn't seem to matter. As very much having fun with their food and playing with it. But they will take down the Nexus here. As Owner looking for a bit more, wants that damage number to look even better. And same thing for Pays as they are just in it. Zeus, though, wants to get a kill. He's not going to be able to. This Pays picks up the double, and that will do it. T1 have their fun, and they will also have their game 3. I can actually see him.
I think this is a bit of a wild card pick for me, the Akali. Not 100% sold on it. Could have seen the tank, but doesn't necessarily fit. Great engage. They have a Rek'Sai, they have this Nautilus, and obviously the Azir's Emperor's Divide. Can be difficult to outplay as the relatively immobile Sivir. So this is going to get really interesting. Is Keria?
He has Smite, and he's not going to be able to hit it, though. And now might just have to flash away from this one. Looks like he will, but a close call, actually, as Keria got in at the right timing.
Big one.
Yeah, it's not his first rodeo, and yeah, I feel like, you know, Doran also, there's the combo, by the way, as you said it was bot lane, but they go straight to mid and interrupt the dash. First blood given on over.
Farm advantage herself. Not to mention the jungle advantage that Owner has with a kill.
Yeah, I mean, that's sometimes what you get when you're laning into just sponge tanks that sit there and they sustain forever, and you can do a ton of damage to them, but they're never going to die at the same time. And you just essentially get to free farm. So Doran's really enjoying his time. Nice little stun from Keria's Bard.
Coming up, if he needed to come down here for this one. Let's see if they can set up the combo again with this knock from Orianna. Spell shield out.
Owner in a very awkward spot, but he's able to dodge quite a lot and survive. The whole team is in there. He has to go in. There's no combo with Faker just yet, holding on to that shockwave. As in goes Doran, nice little knock-up from Zeus, but it does look like T1 are still in a good position. Zeus has to get out as the flash over the wall. Doran getting in there onto Kanavi and should eventually be able to win this one, especially with the help from his team. And Doran just going to collect that kill. Nice little fight from T1, although it started with Owner kind of out of position.
Well, in the follow-up for T1, to put us at a 1-on-1 dragon apiece. And for this setup here for Hanwha Life Esports, I think we're just going to have to see a little bit more coordination.
Moving in as a unit, trying to take this blue buff away. And Kanavi, as you mentioned, he has not been shy about ganking, about engaging, and now he's just going to die. Has the rest of his team behind him. Big Nautilus ultimate on the 2, and a 3-man scoop from Zeka, but does it matter? As Guma trying to do some damage on the backside, but doesn't have enough at this point in the game. As Faker getting pretty low, maybe able to take him out, but no, the shield comes down and Faker just walks it off. Pace is going to be tagged. Actually, Keria gets in there, and Zeka somehow died up top as well.
Got a setup. And now the lead they had has ballooned into 4.5K.
Yeah, it's definitely something we've seen in the past before, that Jing can struggle into Bard, and I'm glad he called out the stasis, because Guma, if he's there in the back and he's actually dealing damage during the sweep, during the Emperor's Divide, like maybe that looks a little bit different, even from behind, but just wasn't meant to be. Just the little things give T1 the favor. But guess who's also here? It is Owner. As Delight's here. And it is going to be Delight and Kanavi coming in from the jungle. There's the big sweep as everything being thrown at Faker, and they will get it done. But now Owner, pretty fed in his own right, able to take the 1 kill. And here comes Doran, the real threat on the team, as Zeus desperately trying to deal the damage into Owner. There's the ult forward, gonna try to get into the Rift Herald, not quite able to, but does summon it as Paze and Guma make their way over, but Guma already pretty low. And that's gonna force HLE back with the Rift Herald also pushing.
I mean, this is just not a win for Hanwha at all. They end up trading even, but the charge comes through, Sakali shows up, and they even get an additional plate on top of the charge. And there's just no angle here. They're looking for Paze. Oh, just a bit too short.
I mean, that was never going to work out. It feels like HLE are clutching at straws as Doran trying to flash and take out Guma. Instead, he'll have a slice to Zeus and a slice to Guma. And on top of it all, takes out Kanavi, takes them all 3 down. And now Doran 5-0 in this game.
Doran. And what happens here, it gets even crazier because they're like, maybe we can make something happen on the Paze. They overextend here. The turret is dead as... Okay.
We're not even going to get to see it because in the replay, there's more kills happening. Not just to champions, but to turrets. And Doran hits 6-0.
Look at his items.
And he's getting even more gold. Like, you talked about getting incremental leads and how good teams are doing it. I mean, Zeka might just be dead. Dodge there. Even the Zhonya's to come out, and Doran never even got turret aggro. He's still just dancing around, and he's going to be able to dodge away from this one for Owner to come in and clean up, and he might as well, as that'll be the one. It looks like Delight has his flash for now. And T1, they were playing with their food in game 1, or rather 2, but now they're really playing with it, as at least Kanavi is able to get the shutdown, and the turret's somehow still alive, and Kanavi's still going to die.
Well, this game is looking pretty over, Valdez.
I think Faker just dies again, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's going right, except Faker keeps dying in the side lane.
It's okay, it's fine.
He might, yeah, actually, he does live. Okay.
Zeus can only sense him, but he didn't have any burrows set up to chase.
Yeah.
They are taking the dragon. Finally, they're able to take Doran out. Paze is like, cool, but you have no turret. So I'll take the jungler, who continues to send it. They have 3 grubs for this as well, you know?
Uh-oh. Well, at least Zeus is here, and I think that should be enough to hinder Doran. Or maybe not. I don't know. It's a ton of damage. And he goes, gets the kill! And the Cataclysm kind of looks defensive, but it's not helping anyone.
Zeka has TP, but I don't know if he should use it. Maybe he should just, you know?
Yeah, Guma is extremely dead. Like, you cannot emphasize how dead he is. More than that, as a nice shockwave comes in, gonna hit Zeka. And, well, yeah, Keria goes in for the kill. Delight goes down, and Zeus is very tanky, but not against this team. Not when you're down 10,000 gold. And they really wanted to dive that, but Zeus does end up actually getting away. Stops the Baron take, I suppose, with that one.
You mean delays the Baron take?
Yeah.
As they will
it momentarily.
Start it. Yeah, I mean, technically they did stop.
Yeah.
And then started again. So, I mean, like, the delay is correct, but also the stopping is correct.
Yeah.
And, like, what do you do now as Hanwha Life Esports? This game is surely lost. It's...
Third games have kind of just been solo queue stomps. Like, this has not been what we expected after that very tense HLE victory in game 1. Although, I don't know. Because very good at snowballing are our best teams. You can get a lot of plates in this one.
Yeah.
As not quite able to make the combo work that time around, but able to stasis the turret at least. And Owner still has his flash, so he's able to get away. And that might just be it. As Doran does insane damage with 1 tick of his ult. And he's still getting in there, has his Zhonya's now, gets another shuriken, and just dies. So at the end of the day, not the cleanest dive, but I don't think T1 care.
Well, I think that's the end of this push, though.
Is it? I mean, okay. Able to get over the wall. Paze able to block most of that. Is no,
no, Guma, no!
Guma!
No.
Just leave. Just clear the wave. Okay. Well, T1 still won the fight, I guess. Maybe. Oh, Keria's ganking him. Oh, no. Once the best of friends. Now enemies on the Rift.
Look at Guma's face as well. That bought some time for some respawns. The inhibitor falls from
there.
Zeus. I mean, he wants to maybe...
They haven't powered recalls, but yeah, I mean, the amount of damage that Pace does at this point in time is kind of insane, guys. Oh man, the stasis as well on the TP coming in, and the follow-up combo really just dunking on them now. This is not looking pretty.
It is.
If you're a T1 fan, of course.
So funny to watch like a bruiser try to kill a Fed 80 carry in this meta. Like, I'm gonna kill him, and Pace just walks away backwards.
All those 3 times.
Like, no, you're not gonna kill me. I mean, with the build here from Zeus, it wasn't gonna last that long, but he's been laning into an Akali. So that lifeline, you know, on the Maw, the magic resistance isn't gonna really be doing any favors there.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I guess they do
17,000 gold.
Is it the same push as the last one? I mean, I don't think so. I think this is technically a new push.
It feels like version 2.
You could like
push, you know?
try to like connect the dots and say 10-ton wallet.
10-ton wallet. The combo comes in. And Owner's alone, by the way, but it doesn't seem to matter. I mean, they just don't have any damage, and everything in the kitchen sink is thrown at Doran.
All right, now going 1 by 1.
Yeah.
Again. Maybe Hanwha Life Esports can win 5v1 5 times.
Oh, they almost got through Faker's shield there.
I'm going to tell you guys you could skip review for this series for tonight, but now it's like, you know, you've raised his ire a little bit.
Yeah.
He's probably going to be like, all right, we're going to do an extra interview. Good luck with the defense, Hanwha Life Esports.
Well, that's going to be the engage once again. They find Guma, and he's got a target on his back. Down he goes to the Nocturne. And now, with a lot less tools to take down Doran, he can do whatever he wants. And the long-awaited end of the game is right before our eyes. Down will go the Nexus. This one only 28 minutes as T1 absolutely demolished HLE in game number 3. And it was not close at any point in time. As down it goes, T1 take the 2-1 tonight.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.